This is not worth it in 2020. Ah! In this video, I want to talk about whether the 95 NSX or any first generation NSX is worth it in 2020. So why am I making this video? Well, as a die-hard Honda enthusiast, this was my peak pinnacle car for years, for my entire life. This, a black on black 95 manual, not specifically a 95, but a black on black manual Targa NSX was my dream. So I got it. And would I recommend it? Do I think it's worth it? Well, that's what we'll be finding out in this video. I did a video on why I love the car and why I hate the car, and this is the conclusion, putting together everything, considering everything from the past two videos as well as some new information to decide, is this car worth it in 2020 for the price that it commands? So just to recap some of the pros, this is an incredible vehicle to experience, to drive. It's a vehicle that I've fallen in love with, and a lot of others fall in love with this as well. When random people see it driving down the road, they break their neck, they turn their head, and they love it. When I see other car enthusiasts, truck enthusiasts, motorcycle enthusiasts, and riders on the street and on the highway, they always give me a thumbs up, they smile, they love it, they take a picture, they may attempt to race. Of course, we would never break any laws or speed or anything, but they may try to race from time to time, and I love it. It makes me so excited. On top of a few other reasons, lack of depreciation, super reliable, Honda parts to maintain. Whenever I have to put in money to this thing, it's not expensive. And in terms of insurance and gas and all that, it's cake, it's cheap. So what don't I like about this thing? Well, it might be in a bubble, and I personally think, based on what we'll get into later, that this might be in a bubble and that the value is up here, and then it's soon gonna pop and kind of correct and come back down. What else do I not like? There's so much better stuff you can get for the price. As a Honda enthusiast, as someone who's had S2000s in the past, I love the S2000, and you can get them for 10 to 12K. Is this vehicle worth 4 S2000s? I don't know about that. I also mentioned in the video about what I hate about this car, that it's kind of slow in a straight line. Yes, it's faster than other vehicles on the street, and yes, it handles fantastically, but it's pretty slow in the straight line. It's like 270 horse from the factory. This is stock, and you have 25 years worth of drivetrain loss, so it's not the fastest vehicle on the road when you're going in a straight line. So after all of the recap, the moment you've been waiting for, is this thing worth it in 2020? Is an NSX worth buying in 2020? No. Thumbs down from me. And this is coming from someone, I wish I had my Honda hat. I'll probably throw a picture on the screen right now. This is coming from a die-hard Honda Acura enthusiast. This was specifically my pinnacle car. And as much as I'm into vehicles for the monetary aspect, and as much as I've turned my automotive knowledge into a business, this was an emotional purchase. This is something that I did out of love, and I expected it not just to financially pay for itself, but to be everything that I hoped and dreamt that it would be, and it let me down. They say never meet your heroes, and well, I met my hero. Kind of disappointed by it. So why is that? Well, I want to break it down and talk about how this in and of itself is not a bad car. It's such an incredible car. It's just not a good car for the money. It's so overpriced. Oh my gosh. So let's break it down. Let's compare it to the other options that you have that you could spend your money on if you wanted to. So scenario one, you want to go fast in a straight line. Well, that's easy. Get a Mustang GT50, throw a supercharger on it, you're in that thing for maybe 20K, and you are a rocket. You can go incredibly fast, and that's not even mentioning bikes, which also has a lot of crossover with the next point, which is if you want to handle well. If you want to go around curvies, yes, this handles incredibly well, but so do bikes, and so do S2000s, and so do Miatas, and so do Lodi. Lotuses. There are other more budget-friendly options, more economical options compared to the $55,000 that I paid for this, that you can buy. You can get an S2000 for a quarter of that, and not a junk S2000, a really nice S2000 for that price. I don't think this is 4 times the vehicle when it comes to handling. Now, speaking of S2000s, if you're a die-hard Honda person, if you've had EK Civics and EK hatches and FA5s and all of these different Hondas, S2000s, and you're like, oh, I want to upgrade to the NSX, I'm just putting money away, I'm putting money in the piggy bank, and I'm saving to finally buy the NSX. Do you buy it? No. I don't think it's worth what else you have to give up for this if you're a die-hard Honda enthusiast. There's a stereotype that says Honda people are generally broke, which I've seen, I've personally experienced, and I've even been there myself. And so if you're going way out of your way, taking a second mortgage on your home to be able to afford this, well, you're going to be let down by a 270 horsepower, 25-year-old clunker. That's all I can say. Yes, it's cool. Yes, it turns heads. Yes, it's amazing. But it's not worth the price point. Now, if you look at the other alternatives, like what else you can buy for the money if you just want to spend, let's say $55K on something really fast, really cool, really head-turning, really amazing. Well, what are the other options if you have this lump sum of money to burn, to spend, to invest in a vehicle? Would you spend it on this? I don't think so. I've personally had a couple R35 GTRs, and I would take those in a heartbeat over this car. It's faster, it handles better. I personally like all-wheel drive, and I don't mind the automatic. I think that it shifts a little bit faster when you're using the paddles. Anyway, I would definitely, without a doubt, take a CBA GTR. You can even afford a DBA GTR for the price point that these are commanding in 2020. So I wouldn't choose that. I would also choose a different asset class, like maybe real estate. You can buy a house outright cash in the Midwest for the cost of this car. It's mind-blowing. And this is not worth a house. It's not worth a 3-bed, 2-bath house in the Midwest. This is a down payment on a house that you could use as an investment property. You could buy stocks. You could do all of these other things with the amount of money that this car cost. I don't think it's worth it. So what do I recommend? Well, if you're a die-hard Honda person, S2000 all the way, hands down, no brainer, get a Honda S2000. They're the best, they're so fun, and they're worth the money. They're expensive, yes, they're in the teens now, I would say. Most good examples, not super clean CRs, not super clean cars in general, low mileage or commanding in the low 20s, I think. But a nice S2000 with reasonable mileage is somewhere in the teens right now, which is a quarter of the price of this, and you'll have so much extra money to spend smarter, to spend on other things, to not take out debt on. I own this outright, but the opportunity cost that I have with it, with investing in stocks, with investing in real estate, it's just not worth it, even for my pinnacle dream car. If you just want to go fast and handle well, a C5Z06 or a C6 Corvette is basically the same vehicle made by Chevy. Now I know I'm gonna get so much hate and so much flack for saying that, but it's the same vehicle. Target top, high horsepower, manual transmission, handles incredibly well. 10K, 15K. It's not worth it. This is not worth it in 2020. Come out of the woodworks and attack me if you want to. If you love this car, if you've personally had one and want to tell me why it is worth it in 2020, why this is a $55,000 car, I would love your opinion on it if you're speaking from a place of knowledge. And if you're just an NSX fanboy and you think that I'm lying through my teeth about this and that I secretly am just making this video to bash the NSX market so that I can buy more, maybe, who knows, put your conspiracies in the comment. If you think that I'm completely wrong or that my logic path is wrong or that my opinion is fully and wholly wrong, let me know in the comments as well. I would love love to hear your feedback and your opinions. I would love if you smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and share this out with anyone who's considering buying an NSX or who's just an NSX fanboy or who loves them. With that in mind, I will see you on the next one.